Hello, this is Meghan LeVota, and I offer wisdom, tools, and support for personality integration. And today, this is just going to be a quick tip for NJ types. And so by NJ, that means if your personality is an INFJ, INTJ, ENFJ, or ENTJ. And the thing that these four types have in common is their preference for introverted intuition as the way that they like to perceive the world. These types like to perceive the world through the subjective lens of their own abstract concepts. So NJs are always looking out there and they get, intuitions about things. They grasp onto patterns and concepts, and then that concept will confound over time. Every time they're picking up new abstract concepts, they're going to have to integrate them within their own previous concepts and patterns that they have picked up. NJs are not the type to just abandon this pattern or concept for another and then sort of flip back and forth. This is a pattern I see, and you're going to continue it until you clearly see that the pattern ends. So hopefully that makes a little sense for those of you who are new. But if you are an NJ, this is a tip for momentum and for getting things done. So if you are an NJ, you are the type to see a goal that you're trying to hit in the future. But what tends to happen is that the way we see things going in our head isn't exactly how it happens whenever you actually get there to the moment. We tend to overly idealize how things will go. And the thing is that since we intuit before we sense, then the intangible in our head is so much more real sometimes than the tangible in front of us. And so that can make us kind of naive or idealistic. But the thing is that with extroverted sensing as the other half of introverted intuiting that is less conscious for NJs, it's like, how do we grab on to this thing called extroverted sensing? How do we use it to help us actually reach our goals that our NI is so focused on? And when we use SE, it's sloppy. It is not nearly as perfect as our concept. It's not very refined either. And so some NJs will have an idea completely perfectly in their head. In fact, I don't even want to say some. All of us have probably experienced this at some point where you're waiting for the right time, or you're waiting for things to go perfectly and smoothly to the point where you've waited forever, and then somebody else comes out with that idea before you, or you wait and it's too late. This could be a business idea where you thought of exactly a concept that needs to happen in your city, and then some ESTP just swoops in there and gets a logo after they thought of the idea a week ago, and now all of a sudden they're beating you, and it's like, whoa, how did that happen, right? I'm the one that thought of that idea, or I could have done it better than that. And then sometimes we can get kind of arrogant where we're looking around like, how did you do that whenever I had that idea? And if I would have done that idea, then it would have been like this. And it's like, okay, well then why don't you do it? And so that's the thing, is doing it is super hard for NJs. So how do you do it? The key for NJs is to really get a grasp on momentum and use it to your advantage, because we don't want to just jump into an ocean and learn how to swim while we're there. We want to know how to swim before we jump in the ocean. But we also have to be comfortable with the fact that you can't expect everything. The ocean, you cannot control the ocean. You cannot control nature and the wild chaoticness of, Mother Earth, or whatever you want to call it. You can't control that. And so it's like, how can you control what you can control without trying to control every single way, the how it's going to go. As long as you have your why, you don't need to worry about the how. So, okay, really what I want to say is that the tip for increasing this momentum is to think about, how can I make the intangible tangible today? How can I make it tangible? And the first step is writing it down, okay? And I know that this sounds so simple, but there's a bigger intuitive reason why this is a tip. If you have an idea, write it down. Every NJ needs a list of ideas, even if it's just on your phone. A lot of you guys probably already do, but if you don't, make a list. Even if it's just write poetry later or try and make a song later. It doesn't even have to be a literal goal that in like a more achievement sense that society thinks of goals. It could be reach out to a friend. If you have an idea, an inspired idea, because NJs get a lot of these sort of like, I feel inspired to do this. Really, we desire to be in the flow of life so much, and so using momentum to our advantage that when we get an inspired idea, we take action. NJs take inspired action. We don't like to take action without thinking it through. And so writing it down, seriously, it's a game changer. And, you know, make it a habit to look at it. Every time you look at your idea, every time you write your idea down, even if it seems simple, you are making the intangible tangible. Here, now it is on a piece of paper, on your phone. And the hardest thing for an NJ is to make the intangible tangible. The actual doing it isn't even really as hard as you think. It's really just the transmitting it from the idea to reality, or to even like something tangible. That's the hardest leap. Then obviously making it reality is hard too. But I feel like you need to realize that it's gonna be sloppy. It's gonna be sloppy no matter what. You can't control it, and just getting the hang of making it tangible little by little and being okay with that chaos is really great advice, or something to definitely think about if you're an NJ. So if you're an NJ, let me know below if you like to write lists of ideas down, or your thoughts on that. If you feel like that would help you, or if that has helped you, let me know. If you still aren't sure what your personality type is, I offer personality typing services below, and mentorship. And also there is a free Facebook group that you can join to discuss personality type for self-growth. That's below. Let me know any questions you have. You can connect with me on Twitter and Instagram. And thank you so much for watching this video.